Hi everybody and welcome to Take Your Time Gaming. I'm your host, Katie. We are now on Call of Cthulhu, episode 10. And my voice is a little hoarse, a little raw after all that screaming I did in episode 9. That was exhausting. Woo boy! So we are now in the bookstore, which has a broken window and a lot of blood splatters, so who knows what happened to the owner, but we are trying to get information on the dagger that helped us defeat the Shambler. So grab a tasty beverage and let's get started. And I really hope that there is not another like evil monster in this section, because I don't think my poor heart can handle it. Oh, that was intense. I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. It's fun to watch back. It was not fun to film. But yeah, it was extra long too. It was like double the length of a normal episode. So I hope you got a lot of entertainment out of that.
Freud's The Interpretation of Dreams. It's the work that laid the foundations of psychoanalysis at the beginning of this century.
The Interpretation of Dreams. This practical work, written by Sigmund Freud for psychologists, describes the techniques of analytical interpretation of dreams. The analysis must follow several rules, especially that of free association, a principle announced by Freud at the end of the 19th century. It treats dreams as a way of revealing buried desires. I cannot believe that this theory is applicable to my nightmares. Oh, and I think, we actually, at the end of the last chapter, we got some more blurbs to read and more character points, so let's do that. Yeah, that is max now. Apply. Let's check out. Let's see how our sanity is doing. Meet the well, it is lower now. Meet the Shambler. It is in Francis Sanders' private gallery that Pierce discovers the identity of the Shambler, a huge artwork painted by Sarah Hawkins. When Pierce approached it, a creature burst forth from the painting and immediately chased after him. Yes, it did. This beast from another dimension has such a hold on the mind of a person who finds himself in its presence that a simple glance in its direction is enough for Pierce to lose some sanity. Pierce finally managed to send the Shambler back into the painting, using a dagger engraved with a strange symbol. But this encounter has left its mark on the psyche of the investigator. Still under the influence of the creature, he almost stabbed his own hand. Ooh, lottie. Alright, we already read all that. Oops, no. Let's look at places. The Sanders residence. The Sanders house, all in shades of red and gold, is impressive, but nothing matches the private gallery of Francis Sanders. The place is huge and entirely dedicated to his passion for troubling and macabre works, defaced figures of virgins, sacrificial daggers, statues of monsters. And the painting that led him to his demise takes center stage. The Shambler, a painting by Sarah Hawkins, a close friend of the couple. What happened in this room? I will never be able to forget it. You and me both, Eddie. I'm gonna have nightmares tonight. The Dimensional Shambler, I actually already read that one. I read that. Dagger of the Ancients. This exceptional dagger of Ottoman origin probably dates from the 16th century. It bears the Elder sign on its hilt. It apparently belonged to Pargali Ibrahim Pasha, Grand Vizier at the court of Suleiman the Magnificent. I probably butchered that. Legend tells that Pargali used the symbol on the dagger to protect the court from a creature that haunted the mirrors of the palace. What is certain is that Suleiman had his vizier executed. Did he fear him after this demonstration of power? Extract from Art and Mysticism, Francis Sanders' Forgotten Objects. Painting of the Shambler. The painting was exposed in Francis Sanders' gallery, but I think that the creature no longer requires it for movement. It went to hunt down Sanders in the cellars of the Riverside Institute. I do not know where it comes from, but one thing is sure. It's starving. Did I succeed in sending it back to its world? I am not sure. God, I hope we did. I do not need another run-in with that guy. Hello, game. Oh, I guess I just don't have any clues in Chapter 7 yet. I see. These are all... Okay. Alright. Whew! Let's keep investigating this bookstore. God, that was intense. Anything? And our hidden object is pretty high, so...
Another volume of the Reverend's wife's diary.
Diary of the Pastor's Wife, Volume 4. The pastor declared himself to be the prophet. He renounced God and worshipped a strange pagan entity with a monstrous appearance. His wife tried to reason with her husband, but in vain. He was convinced that he must listen to this voice in his head because it holds the truth. I'm really sad that we missed Volume 1, because, yeah. It's a bit of a bummer. How did the story begin? We'll never know. Let's check down here. Nothing. Just some green ectoplasm, you know. Nothing to worry about. A parchment holder. It's an interesting bookstore. Did we check this way? Yes, we did. Hello, bookkeep. I'd like to purchase a book. Maybe get some information on a dagger that saved me life. I almost took my hand off with it. I really don't know why I go into accents all the time. Really bad ones, actually. The History of Darkwater, Volume 2, by Harry Campbell. A Puritan colony, led by Reverend John Wickwood, settled on the island during the 17th century. They named the island Darkwater because of the dark shades of the sea. Haha. They believed it was because of this peculiar color of the rocks surrounding the island. They erected the first buildings, among which were the Hawkins Manor, the church, and the cemetery. The rare documents and handwritten notes they left spoke of nightmares and deviant behaviors. They disappeared at the beginning of the 18th century. At least we get a lot of information by going into a bookshop, you know? Mythology and theology. Ooh. Interesting colored pink liquid there. Anything of interest behind the counter? No. Suppose not. And let's go down this aisle before we investigate the back room. Aha. Yay! The Breviary of Medicine, Tome 3. Even a few years back, it was possible for a single practitioner to know all the medical knowledge of his time. This book, which concludes the series, shows that this is now virtually impossible. About 10 renowned doctors took part in putting together this collection. Yay! And our medicine has increased by 1. Sweet, sweet. That's creepy. Which is probably the understatement of the century when it comes to this game. Oh good, let's light our oil lamp in here with all the books. Would you read the book? Hell yeah, I'll read the book. Gimme.
What does this strange
I know it'll make me
book
more insane, but
contain?
whatever.
This book contains unholy knowledge.
Oh look, it's our friend the Shambler. This collection catalogs and classifies creatures that I had never heard of. Divinities from the stars, creatures capable of traveling from one dimension to another. It presents itself as the reference work on the bestiary of the myth, without giving details on the mythology to which it refers. Its pages are covered with phantasmagorical illustrations. Yep, and now we are going to be even more insane. However, our occultism skill does go up. Handbook on Anatomy and Dissection. As precise and illustrated with as much detail as the first volume, this book focuses on healing surgery specific to malformations and motor disorders. And our medicine is up. So, our medicine should increase. That should have been, because we only needed 2 more points. Nope, every time. 1 more point. It's like they're only worth half sometimes. Make sure I didn't miss anything now that I have my lamp out. Oh, I did.
The Book of Zion is the foundational work behind Helena Blavatsky's theosophical movement. Its followers place truth on the same footing as a religion.
Interesting. The Book of Zion. These Tibetan writings are at the origin of the esoteric movement founded by Helena Blavatsky at the end of the 19th century. The creator of Theosophy would have drawn extensively on the texts of this work, but no one has ever been able to consult them. I thought they didn't exist. This book, discovered in the nameless bookstore on Darkwater, could be as much fake as irrefutable proof of Blavatsky's sincerity. Interesting. Oh, and that increased my occultism. I never have heard of that before. Have y'all? Alright, cool. It is useful having a lamp out because it lights up things that you would normally miss. I just worry about running out of that precious, precious lamp oil. Okay. I think we're good with that. Let's check this room. Oh, look! Lamp oil! Talk about handy dandy. Let's see what other goodies are in here. We've got another phonograph. Ah, The History of Darkwater, Volume 4 by Harry Campbell. In the 19th century, as the American whaling industry reached its peak in the rest of the world, whales gradually disappeared from the waters surrounding Darkwater. This phenomenon appears even more mysterious because, up till then, the region was a favored refuge for cetaceans. In 1847, after months of pursuit, Scylla returns to port with a gigantic creature on board. Its crew asserts that the sea monster had eaten all the disappeared whales. After a night of ferocious combat, the survivors managed to drag the beast onto the whaling ship. Man, we're just, like, filling up our inventory in this one. Which is nice. The more information we have, the better able we will be able to solve this mystery. And hopefully not go insane and die in the process. But you know what? I don't know if I have high hopes for us in that regard. I'm pretty sure we are going to lose it within the next couple of episodes. Oh, nothing there. Top off our oil again and go back here.
What happened here?
Time for a reconstruction scene.
Let's start over. Where did they break in from?
Could it have been the door?
Blood. Seems like amateur work.
Yeah, you'd think they would have wrapped their arm. Alright. You know, we haven't had a hidden object in a while. It's kind of disappointing since we put so many points in it.
A man, probably.
Or someone short with abnormally large feet. I mean, come on, Eddie. You can't rule out all the possibilities.
This burglar seems to be rather clumsy.
And that is the extent of Eddie's medical knowledge. This guy seems to be clumsy. Anything back here? I don't think so. Oh, we can't go back there. So gotta go back here.
What killed all these animals?
I don't want to know.
What sort of
I really
thief
don't.
leaves his tools at the crime scene?
Got a crowbar right there.
What happened that made the burglar flee before finishing his work?
Hello. That's the sign that was in Francis Sanders' cell.
What the? Charles Hawkins?
Oh.
What sort of power did Sarah Hawkins' painting possess?
Well, clearly a lot, as we learned from episode 9.
Sarah Hawkins helped hide something in this safe.
And that's all I get to know because my occultism skill is too low. God, it's dark in here.
Drake put in a great deal of effort to hide whatever is in here. Everything is linked to the Sarah Hawkins case.
That's what we're finding. Is that the Malleus Mysterium that's in there? I wonder. Alright, let's read what we just got. I don't know why it's acting like I didn't read that when I did. The Nameless Bookstore. I've never seen such a collection of works on magic and occultism. Algernon Drank, the owner, prides himself on being a luminary in the study of esoteric phenomena. The library was ransacked during an attempted burglary. It holds numerous rare or forbidden works. Its back room houses a safe protected by an ancient symbol. And the burglary. The Nameless Bookstore's burglar came through the door. A bit further, some knocked over objects allowed the trail to be followed into the back room. There, the mess next to the safe confirms the person's aim. However, there is no material evidence to support my hunch as to the identity of the burglar. Charles Hawkins did indeed appear to be, as well as the star symbol on the door of the safe. I cannot determine if the presence of Sarah Hawkins in my projections is a result of the unconscious work of my mind, or whether it proves that the case obsesses me. Possibly both, actually. So these are just dead beetles, it looks like? He said animals, but they look just like... yeah, they look like cicadas of some kind. I mean, cicadas, yes, they are animals, but I was thinking, like, maybe he was thinking rats or something. But he wasn't.
What link did he find between Charles Hawkins and an old amulet?
Charles Hawkins, interesting. This key that bears the Elder Sign is the only one able to protect your psyche. It is in the form of a cylindrical medallion hanging at the end of a heavy chain. Hundreds of years ago, the star and the branch, whose purpose is to push back the forces of the Great Old Ones, were engraved at its center. Everything points to it being Charles Hawkins that tore it from its last owner, an Egyptian antique dealer. And press cuttings that mention this misdemeanor, the date of the robbery coincides with the last of Hawkins' trips to Cairo. It remains to be seen whether he knows of the true purpose of the artifact. Try to find it. Interesting. So that symbol is a symbol of protection against the old gods, and that's what Francis painted all over his cell before he, well, I guess after he ripped out his own eyes.
Is everyone on this island taking sleeping pills?
Yes. Is everyone taking crazy pills? Yes, they are. Handbook on Anatomy and Dissection, Book 1. The least that can be said about this book is that its title is well conceived. The illustrations of human anatomy and dissection methods presented are illustrated in great detail. You have to have a strong heart or the detachment proper to doctors to consult its pages. Alright, now that should have leveled up my medicine. It better have. Good. Medicine is now 3 out of 5. Occultism is 2 out of 5. Sweet. Ah.
Drake left instructions on how to find the combination of his safe.
Drake's memoirs. A page seems to be hidden here. It is possible to read. If somebody finds these memoirs, there will be no doubt that I am in serious trouble. My last and only hope is that my body and bones are still in this plane of reality, in order that they be recovered and burned. The funeral urn must be given to my dear mother if she is still of this world. The following message is of capital importance. Whoever reads these lines and demonstrates acuity as sharp as mine can hope to gain access to my most precious possession. It lies within my safe, and the clues to the combination are to be found in 3 cylinders, each hidden where life and study combine in the Greek world. Each cylinder is numbered, even if, as the celebrated author says, order is the pleasure of reason, but disorder is the delight of the imagination. Indeed, despite my preference for organized chaos, I must admit that reason usually prevails in the end. If by chance a person, or should I say a genius, was to match my intellect and find the combination of the safe, I would ask that they deliver its content into the safekeeping of my friend and colleague, Professor Armitage of Miskatonic University. The content of the safe is not only a vast digest of knowledge, but also a weapon that is far too dangerous for it to fall into the wrong hands. I bet it's the Malleus Mysterium. I hope that you will be able to appreciate the danger that this represents, and that you will act accordingly. In any event, I will neither be there to guide you, nor to suffer from your actions. Alright, so we have a riddle for the safe. It's going to be 3 numbers, it seems. Hidden in a Greek session. I just want to see. Oh, I see. Okay, that's me having to enter it in. Alright. Oops. Come back, little lantern. So, here are a lot of books. Haha. Okay.
Arkham editions. Never heard of them.
Things that should not be. A collection of essays on American folklore and urban legends, written by Albert Wilmarth, professor at Miskatonic University. This volume is part of the Arkham Anthology, a luxurious collection of treatises and works on esotericism and the supernatural.
How many volumes are there in this collection?
This is volume 1, Aurora Linda, an ancient Frisian manuscript translated by William Sandbach. The text claims that, in the distant past, Europe and other continents were controlled by the mothers of this people, and, moreover, that our alphabet is derived from the Frisian language. This volume is part of the Arkham Anthology, blah blah blah.
Another volume by Arkham Editions.
Corpus Hermeticum, written by Hermes Trismegistus, translated and edited by Nathaniel Coppelius. This collection of texts on different beliefs was written by a legendary philosopher. It includes a translation of the Emerald Tablet, a popular text among 16th century alchemists.
Arkham Editions. Never heard of them.
Isis Unveiled, a book of esoteric philosophy, and a key text in Madame Blavatsky's Theosophical Movement, which we did just learn about earlier.
How many volumes are there in this collection?
Massa di Requiem per Shuge, opera in 8 acts by Benevuto Chieti Brodighera, an infamous lyrical work published in Italy in 1768. It is said that the opera was performed only once, resulting in an audience riot that left several dead and missing.
Another volume by Arkham Editions.
The Prophecies, a collection of long-term astrological predictions written in verse, written by Nostradamus, translated by E. Leone and Theophilus Widebridge.
Arkham Editions.
The Key of Solomon,
Never heard of them.
a book of spells supposedly written by the legendary King Solomon. It contains various rituals of invocation and rituals of curse. Reedition by Claudia D. Waits, based on L.W. de Laurent's original.
How many volumes are there in this collection?
Azathoth and Other Horrors, a collection of poems by Edward Pickman Derby, also known as the Nightmare Lyrics. This collection of poems was sensationally received when first published in 1908. Derby was only 18 years old. Goodness, okay, that is a lot of texts. And I believe those are what we have to piece. Oh, there's something else here now.
Cylinders that Drake tried to hide. I should perhaps listen to them.
Perfecto. Let's go. We found a phonograph in the other room. It always pays to go through everything twice, since you'll get new clues for an area as things progress. Here it is. Wow, we got 3 of them.
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets. I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny. Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them.
Okay. So perhaps that is a clue that Azathoth,
The Queen
has
has
one of the
little
numbers.
protection.
I do not play chess. I wish I did, though. I think I would be good at it. I need someone to teach me. Oh, look, it's a grail.
The Chalice of Knowledge.
This goblet seems to be very ancient. It seems to be made of gold and decorated with real precious stones. Do the rubies and sapphires make up a specific motif? Cool. I was hoping that was going to raise my occult, but oh well. We can't have everything, I suppose. Alright, I think we have all the new stuff. Yes. last little check. Alright, so we have biology, mythology, theology. Yeah. So let's look at... Oop. Oh, I thought that was a clickable. Alrighty then. Let's look at our clue again. No, where's the memoir? Life and study combine in the Greek world. Each cylinder is numbered, even if by chance a person... Let's see. Be found in 3 cylinders. Are those his, I suppose, the cylinders that we played in the phonograph? Yeah, because that's where we found them in the biology and mythology, or biology section, so that would be hidden where life. So it's going to be, they're not going to be from order 1, 2, 3. I think I need to listen to these again and make sure I didn't miss any numbers he may have said. One was the goblet. Is there a number on the goblet?
The chalice of knowledge.
Don't see any numerals on the goblet. Just that it's very cracked. No. Okay. I will cut here so I can y'all don't have to listen to the phonograph recordings again, and then I will come back. Yes. Okay guys, I'm back. I listened to the recordings again. 1 references the goblet, 2 references this chessboard, and how we must protect the queen, and 3 references the book of Azazoth from the Arkham series. So I can continuously examine this.
The queen has little protection.
And I am concerned that her position on the chessboard, I'm assuming this is the queen, the piece, is one of the numbers to the safe, her position on the board. But I don't play chess, and I don't know what that would be. So, that's fun. The goblet, I re-examined it and can't find a number on it. So let's go just make sure that...
Drake talked about a particular... So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message.
So let's see, we have 2 numbers here. Well, I guess we have 3. We have Volume 9. We have 1908, which couldn't be part of it. And then we have 18 years old. So we have those 3 numbers. That could possibly be a clue for... This is going to be tricky. Oh, I wish I played chess. I have a feeling this is definitely a number that I need to know.
The chalice of knowledge.
I don't see any number anywhere. It's getting so dark outside, it's kind of difficult. Just that repaired crack in it. Yeah. I think I'm gonna have to start... Oop. Nope. Fiddling around and see if I can figure this out. I may have to Google
the queen has little
numbers
protection
on a chessboard. Yeah, I think I'll do that now. And see what this... I need a diagram of a chessboard and see what this picture is going to be. I'm going to cut and get back to you when I think I... I'm going to cut when or come back when I think I have a better idea of how to solve this, because right now I'm a little stumped. Okay, guys, this was probably the most frustrating puzzle I have ever encountered in a video game. I ended up having to Google hints because nothing I was trying was working, and I was just wasting my life. So the thing with the chess set,
The queen has
it
little
doesn't
protection.
matter what position the queen is on. That is not the point. When they're talking about protection, they're saying how many pieces are actually protecting the queen, and as there are only 3 more white pieces on the board, the answer is 3. So 3 is one of the 3 is the number associated with the second phonograph cylinder, which is dumb. Now the chalice, after I listened to the
chalice
recordings
of knowledge.
again, and he talks about the rubies. So it's really, there's not a number engraved on the chalice. It's actually, you're supposed to count the stupid rubies because I'm dumb. And the reason there's a crack in it is so that you have a reference point for when to stop counting. So you go, if I start here, there's 1 ruby, 2 ruby, 3 ruby, 4, and 5. So 5 is the one associated with the first cylinder. And then the last one, I got 3 different numbers from the Azazoth book, and it's 9, 1908, and 18, but we're going to assume it's number 9 is the answer. So let's try entering in that code. But that stupid chessboard, like, that was surprisingly difficult. Yeah, yeah, and count the rubies. Count the rubies. That was... I probably should have figured that one out sooner. But okay. Let's enter in... Oops. Hello. We've got 5. Why you no likey? Oh. 3. 9. Since 18 is not an option. There we go. That was stupid frustrating. That is not the Malleus Mysterium. That has a different cover. Or maybe it is. Uh-oh. Oh, trippy. Haven't you learned never to open the book, Eddie? Okay, that is the end of chapter 7. Awesome. Chapter 8, The Riverside Institute. In the nameless bookstore, Pierce traced the trail of an attempted burglary. He discovered that Charles Hawkins was behind the attempt. Pierce opened the bookseller's safe to find what the latter and Sarah Hawkins had hidden there. A book covered in human skin lied inside, irresistibly attracted the detective. When he opened it, his mind was projected into another body. I think I know what this book is now. It is covered in human skin. But I don't want to say anything in case I'm wrong and then I'm stupid. This is awesome. But when the game saves, we'll go ahead and call it quits. But I'm really irritated that I couldn't solve that puzzle without having to Google some stuff. Yeah, I think it was comparable, maybe almost, to the Silent Hill 3 puzzle with the Shakespeare books. I never actually played Silent Hill 3 myself, but I watched someone else play it. And yeah, that was a tricky riddle. It's definitely harder than any puzzle I've come across in
Dr.
Frambeau.
Colden, this man's condition is deteriorating.
What says Dr. Fuller? It's his patient, after all.
He's busy with Captain Fitzroy. He specifically asked us not to bother him when that's the case.
Oh, of course. I'll see what I can do. Mr. Blake, can you hear me? I'm Dr. Colden. We'll take care of you.
There's nothing
Great, I'm in
we
another
can do.
hospital as a different person.
I tried talking to him. He's catatonic.
Has he been
Did you
drugged?
inject him with a tranquilizer?
No, Doctor. Not me, not anyone. Our stock is empty, yet again.
Again? But there was enough for the whole island.
More and
Who's
more
stealing
people
tranks?
are suffering from insomnia. We can't refuse to help.
Of course.
Any idea what this man might be undergoing?
What can you tell me about him?
He was highly agitated an hour ago. We were about to tie him down when he fell asleep. 10 minutes ago, he curled up into a fetal position. I thought he was waking up, but no.
What are his symptoms?
His
Other than
temperature
being
has been
catatonic.
going down, his skin losing its color, his body rigid. I closed his eyes
dear.
myself. They were glassing over. I didn't want them to dry out, and I couldn't bear to look at the expression on his face.
You did well. Don't worry. Let's stay professional, if you will. Show me his file.
That's
He
not
doesn't have
possible.
one.
Don't tell me Dr. Fuller has taken this file as well. We need it.
That's why
And
I
they're
called
having a
you.
very energetic
This
conversation in the
man's
background.
ailment has been hidden from us.
Come on now. What was he treated for?
An intoxication, I was told, after inhaling chemicals.
I don't recognize him. Did he just arrive on the island?
I wonder if
He
this
said
is
he works on
present
the
day or
docks, but not with Captain Fitzroy. I think he works for Ms. Baker.
Who?
You know, the woman at the head of their gang. They call her Cat.
Oh, I see.
Do you have other questions?
I
That'll
know
do
enough.
for the time being.
Any idea what this man might be undergoing?
Let's examine
Very
him.
well. I'll examine him.
Okay. Well, before we get into that, as Dr. Marie Colden, that is the end of episode 10. Thank you guys for watching. It really means a lot. If you could like the video and subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications bell, that would just be the cherry on top of my sundae. Follow me on Twitter if you've got one, TYT Gaming, capital K, capital C, because I post every time I upload a new episode. And yeah, looking forward to continuing this mystery. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day. Cheers.